Anger is the fun emotion. We experience all kinds of emotions, some that are enjoyable, some that suck. And the ones that suck are things like being sad, being discouraged, being disappointed, being vulnerable, feeling out of control. We respond with anger because those feelings make us feel weak and make us cower. And anger makes us feel big and powerful and puts us back in charge. So getting pissed gets rid of the sucky weak feeling. Weakness sucks. Anger is fun. Now, most of us don't have a large vocabulary for talking about our feelings, and sometimes often we don't believe we even have any feelings. So when I'm working with clients, what I'll often do is we'll take a look at a feelings wheel. And feelings wheel, it's pretty basic. Let me show you one real quick here. All a feelings wheel is just this diagram that gives you a whole bunch of feeling words. And it's small, so I'm not going to be able to show you it because it's not going to show up on your phone. So what I'll do is in the description below, I'll put a link where you can go to our website and download one. But basically how it works is in the middle, there are feeling words that are big ones: angry, sad, mad, glad. And then as it goes further out, it turns into more and more specific words that you can use. And, I've had clients, they hang it on their fridge. They pull it out when they're going to have a discussion so they can reference it as they talk. I even had a client that made a pillow out of it so that it was just there on the sofa anytime they wanted to look at it. Now, what I do with my clients is I say, you can't choose anything from the salmon color. The reason for that is because the salmon color is the anger section. And anger, 90% of the time, is a secondary emotion. So what I mean by secondary emotion is something else happens. Something else happens that causes us to feel weak, vulnerable, etc. And so now we resort to anger because anger gets rid of that feeling. So we want to think of when you're looking for an emotion that you feel, when you're angry, it's saying, okay, what other emotion happened right before I got angry? This exploration process is where sometimes resistance comes up because it's easier and it feels better to just blame a person or a situation for the anger. I'm just going to stick with anger and I'm just going to say, I don't feel anything else. I'm just pissed because of what they did. Often that's because the other feeling that's leading to anger sucks. And so why would we want to explore and feel the thing that we're already actively trying to not feel with the anger? So I feel rejected. Rejection sucks. Makes me feel unwanted. I don't want to feel unwanted. So I refuse to feel it. So fuck all of you. You're all assholes and I don't need you. Ah, that felt good. See? Anger's fun. Resistance isn't always because you don't want to go there. Sometimes it's just because you're not as skilled at self-reflecting, and it's easier to just say, well, I'm angry, than it is to put in the effort to find something else. Again, yeah, it takes effort, but you have the choice. You can stay angry, or you can try and explore what else is going on. Sometimes anger is there because you were in situations that were dangerous and you had to use anger for that protection, for that strength. Sometimes you were in a situation where anger was the only acceptable emotion. And so to explore that something else might be going on, you're breaking the rules that you were trained with. But reducing anger, managing anger, requires understanding that emotion that is driving it. Because you can learn tools, you can learn skills that'll help you white knuckle through your anger. But the challenge is you're trying to white knuckle through something that actually feels good. that other shit is going on that makes you feel out of control, and then you get pissed and that makes you feel in control, and then you're sitting there trying to say, hey, stop feeling in control. Why? To reduce your anger, to manage it more effectively, you've got to identify what is driving it. Because if you can identify the vulnerable, the weak, the sucky emotion that is driving the anger, then you can learn skills not to manage the anger, but to manage the sucky feeling, to manage disappointment, to manage discouragement, to manage sadness, to manage fear. Because if you can manage those directly, then you don't need to use anger to feel better.